Well, it's happening. We've been talking about tariffs all week here at CNET because they have the potential to really change the prices you pay for tech and therefore the calculations that you need to make about what products are worth your money. Well, today we're writing about a great example of the real-world impact of tariffs. Anker, which is a China-based company that makes everything from power banks to Bluetooth speakers to phone cases, they've raised prices on 127 of their products, that's about a fifth of everything they make, by an average of 18% since last week, according to Reuters. Now, again, this is a great example of the real-world impact of tariffs, and what it means for you is that you've got to be that much savvier about the tech products that you're buying and when. Now, the good news is that Anker often has a lot of discounts. A couple weeks ago, during the Amazon Spring Sale, our CNET shopping editors flagged a lot of deals on Anker products. And so if there's something that they make that's on your list of needs, keep an eye on prices, keep an eye on discounts, especially as we lead up into the Memorial Day holiday.
Tariffs, schmariffs. The new $499 Pixel 9a has one of the best values for any phone you can buy today. And it makes a lot of new improvements over last year's Pixel 8a. It has a bigger display, a new chip. It has a larger battery and a bunch of new AI features, including Gemini Live Video, which can look through your camera and tell you where you left your keys. Where are my keys?
Your keys are on the table in front of the couch.
The screen is so nice, and it should be because it's the same 6.3-inch display that the Pixel 9 has, and that phone costs $799. The Pixel 9a also has similar flat sides, and the flatness doesn't stop there. The camera bump on the back is virtually flush with the new plastic backing. The new main cameras take photos that aren't much different than last year's Pixel 8a, but for a $500 phone, these cameras are great. In fact, we are filming this video with the Pixel 9a right now. Look at me, Pixel. Not everything is rosy. While the Pixel 9a does have the biggest battery found on any Pixel phone, it also has a bigger screen that's brighter, it has a more powerful processor, and then there's all that AI. So overall, in terms of battery life, it's just okay. Close to what the Pixel 8a was. At the end of the day, after testing the phone for 2 weeks, I'm pretty impressed with the Pixel 9a. In fact, I think it's worth every penny of its $499 price.
This U.S. tariffs are raising the prices for new gadgets. Not to mention raising the prices for just about everything in our lives. It's pretty sobering to see headlines of how much an iPhone could cost in the U.S. now. Instead of panic rushing to buy a phone you don't really need, I suggest we all get in a new mindset about extending the life of our gadgets. We also need to start thinking more about buying used products, refurbished goods. I have purchased refurbished before with no issues. I even bought refurbished Powerbeats Pro earbuds a few years ago. And I know that is the weirdest tech to buy refurbished because it's been in someone's ear, but it arrived like new and I love them. Don't be afraid of buying used or refurbished, but also purchase from a place where you can return it if the quality is questionable. And this is just speculation, but if prices get out of control, I am expecting that used tech increases in value. So maybe you do want to hold on to your gadgets a little longer. Now, it's another reason to keep your devices in top condition. And if you want to store some older gadgets, it is important to store them well. You want to keep the charge of the device around 50%. You don't want to have it sit in storage if it's fully charged or totally empty, because that kills the battery. And if it's being stored for longer than 6 months, you're going to set a reminder to turn it on and charge it to 50% every 6 months. So basically, there's no winning, but we're all trying our best, okay?
I'm at the new Harry Potter shop in Chicago, which is Goblet of Fire themed, and let me show you around because I'm really, really excited about this. So right when you walk in, you'll see this egg from Goblet of Fire. Here is the Chicago exclusive merch. Notice here that the floor in the center is like a maze because of the maze in the Triwizard Tournament, and then it all leads into the goblet here. And this wand is a exclusive Goblet of Fire wand. Of course, you'll find some sweets from Honeydukes over here. This is a fun little wheel to see which jelly bean you get, delicious or disgusting, and of course, I always get disgusting. There is a House of Minalima here for fans of that, which is very exciting. There's also this really cute Harry Potter Chicago artwork, which is also signed. And this is Ollivanders, and the really cool thing here is that it looks like you're looking out onto Diagon Alley, which is super, super cool. New York, you don't have that. This is really cool. It's a Chicago exclusive Butterbeer label, so you'll see the stars from the Chicago flag on here. I'm really obsessed with these. Over here is all of the house merch. You'll see some famous members of your house on these displays. Hufflepuff, the best house, of course. This is a really cute section with all the Harry Potter creatures. Over here you'll find your Hogwarts supplies, your robes, and of course some flying books up here on the ceiling. This is the personalization section for your wand, your jersey, your house robes, and you can customize your Hogwarts acceptance letter over here. And this is where you can get your butterbeer as well as a bunch of other sweets too. This is the queue, which is also maze themed. You'll see the green, and of course some more merch to tempt you as you wait to pay for all your other goodies. I couldn't leave without buying something, so I bought this Harry Potter Chicago exclusive spirit jersey. And of course I had to get some butterbeer. And that is the Chicago Harry Potter shop. I am so excited about this as a Midwest native. Let us know if you plan on visiting this new Harry Potter shop location.
This is an expensive vacation at a time where there's a lot going on for people and they're having to make some decisions about how they're going to spend their money this year.
Absolutely.
If they're able to. And I go, all right, like with everything going on, if you're going to spend money on a vacation this year, you're going to want something that's different than what you're used to. And I think that's where Universal's going to have the upper hand, because people are going to want the familiar, kind of properties that Nintendo, Harry Potter, and some of the mystery around some of the classic monsters. What do they have going on with that? So will a family of young kids get a kick out of this? Yes, there's enough here that it's not that scary. It's not that wild. I mean, there were some coasters, I'll say, that you're not going to have little kids on for the most part.
Right. And I think it all depends on how you categorize price. Because I think that, it is a lot. This is like you're going to a show. That sense of a kind of showmanship, I think really could be worth it. But it's something you got to save up for. There's a lot of park price creep. And then we're in an economic situation where that's becoming increasingly tough for anyone to deal with. So in that sense, if you're going to pick one, this is going to be the hot one, And so I feel people might go, okay, well, I'm going to make a choice to do this.
A new era is just around the corner, and for students, that means the United States Department of Education in the rearview mirror. President Donald Trump recently signed an executive order to ban the Department of Education and give education power back to the states and local communities. But what does that mean for student internet access, specifically for K-12 students? I visited the Renaissance at Rand Middle School in Montclair, New Jersey, and spoke with a few students and a teacher about their thoughts on the matter. Students talked about the importance of staying connected and how technology is an integral part of the learning process. This is especially the case since most schools have implemented a hybrid curriculum long after the pandemic. This hybrid curriculum gives students the opportunity to expand their learning through online learning platforms. Access to an adequate internet connection shapes a child's ability to do well in the classroom and beyond. While the news of President Trump's executive order has already been announced, there won't be an immediate shutdown of the department unless Congress approves. Only time will tell on how all of this unfolds and how this future of student internet connectivity will look like. In the meantime, state legislatures may be stepping up to the plate to address the broadband gap.